runs of the Boxhill United attackers or the sloppy defending from Bentley as Maho Murakami is on her haunches here. Our official is just having a chat with her, seeing if she's okay. The official is calling for the Boxhill medical crew to come out and tend to the Boxhill United Japanese midfielder. It's the other one who scored the hat-trick tonight, Yuri Kawano, but Maho Murakami has been terrific as well, and those two combined brilliantly for Boxhill United's 6th goal. The first of the 2 that they scored in this second half. And this was the 30th league meeting between Bayside United / Bentley Greens and Boxhill United. Pythagoras are going to get their 14th victory over Bentley and their 4th consecutive. Last year it was 2 1-0 victories at here and at Wembley that was enough to seal maximum points on both nights. 1 goal might have been enough for Boxhill United tonight, but as of the 87th minute, they've put 7 past the 2 separate goalkeepers that have manned the posts tonight for Bentley. So Maho Murakami is coming from the pitch. The only player that they have left on the bench, Boxhill United, is their reserve goalkeeper. All the other outfield players have been substituted into the match. Grace Norbury, Victoria Zekas, Karina Todorova and Summer Trask. So will they just play the final couple of minutes here plus stoppages with 10 players, Boxhill? From the restart, Tolios and Ferreira Bass sliding a ball in. Yukasato races onto it. First time shot, snatched at it a little and sent the ball spiralling over the crossbar and behind. It does look like Murakami is going to come back on. That's good news for Pythagoras fans. Maho Murakami, his 2nd season at Boxhill. Come from AC Nagano Pasiero Ladies in Japan. Had a lot of great players come to play in the NPLW Victoria down the years from Japan. Including, of course, the reigning gold medalist from last season, who I mentioned earlier, Sawa Matsuda, Heidelberg United. Heading towards second half stoppage time. Bocelli, that was a cynical challenge, and it's going to be a yellow card for Felicity Georgopoulos, who is pleading her case, but clearly a booking-worthy offence. I believe that's the first yellow card of the evening. Felicity Georgopoulos, her 2nd yellow of the season. She was booked in the loss last week to South Melbourne. 3 minutes. 3 minutes extra before Bentley are put out of their misery, quite frankly. Come here tonight not really knowing what to expect from the Greens. They were pretty good value for their 1-0 half-time lead last week before being blown off the park by South Melbourne in the second half. And as I keep mentioning, a very young team is going to be very inconsistent. One last set piece, Kawano trying to turn it towards goal. Bentleigh jumps on and defuses the bomb. Boxhill home next Friday night against Preston. Bentley Saturday night at the Veneto Club against Burundara. Bentley will look to avoid 3 consecutive defeats, and of course their goal difference is in a bad way already. Bocelli, what a cross. Summertrust's header! Summertrust's goal! And it's 8 for Boxhill United. And it's a first Senol NPLW Victoria goal for the Boxhill United teenager, Summertrask. And that is a very pretty looking scoreboard now for Pythagoras. Beautiful cross into the 18-yard box from Bocelli, who now has a goal and an assist, and Summertrask looping header just over the outstretched, desperate gloves of Diana Botellico. They have added 3 goals in this second half, have Boxhill United. They were able to show a bit of resistance for about a quarter hour or so, Bentley, before the dam wall busted again. And you have to wonder, will this be potentially the biggest margin we see in the Senol NPLW Victoria this season? Bentley, rare foray into the 18-yard box. Boxhill United have had that particular area of the pitch cordoned off tonight. Not sure they deserve a goal here, Bentley. They will get one last opportunity to try and conjure one from a corner kick, their first of the match. They only had one corner kick all of last week. Ferreira-Bass swings it in to the 18-yard box, cleared away by Maneric. Back to the Bentley captain. And that will do us on a Friday night at Kingston Heath, where the champions respond as champions do, and they pull the Bentley Greens apart at the Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. 5 goals in the first half, 3 in the second. Hat-tricks to both Aaron Kite and Yuri Kawano, and then late goals for the Kiwi Chiara Bocelli, and a first ever Senol NPLW goal for Summertrask. A non-event really. After the first 25 minutes or so, they came, saw and conquered early on, did Pythagoras. They avoid starting the season with 2 consecutive defeats, and it's not just a victory, but one of the most comprehensive victories we will see all season. Bentley begin the season with 2 heavy defeats, and it's back to the drawing board for Steve Cremidas, captain Candy Ferreira-Bass, and everybody else here at the Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. For me, Brent Sternberg, and our cameraman James, thanks for your company this evening, everybody. The final score here at the Kingston Heath Soccer Complex, an eye-watering one. Bentley Greens 0, Boxhill United 8.
Maybe him.
All good, the weather. No, I don't. That's good.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
I just leave. There's a lot of courts here, so I don't want to mess it around. Do I have to move them out a little bit, or? No, no problem. We can't get that. We can't. Yeah, we don't want to. Oh, you're a legend. Thank you so much. Instagram story. Sorry. 916 days. That is the number of days in which the Bentley Greens have not played a senior Senol NPL Men's Victoria match at Kingston Heath. Last time, it was the August 19th of 2023, and it was the day in which Avondale FC secured the 2023 NPL Men's Victoria Premiership. That game was held at Avenger Park. This game takes a completely different complexion. The Bentley Greens looking to win their first game against the Avengers in regulation time since 2019 in May. Both sides winless in round one of the Senol NPL Men's Victoria, but both seeking to make a mark in what will be viewed as the marquee matchup on this Friday night. As we welcome you back to Kingston Heath Soccer Complex in the top flight of Victorian football for the first time in nearly 3 years. I'm Neil Simons, joined alongside Stefan Djordjic. It is a pleasure to have you alongside me, and I'm very excited for this clash tonight.
I am very excited as well, Neil. You do, unlike anyone else, a better pre-game hype-up than anyone I've ever met before. That was electric. I don't know if anyone else is feeling excited at home, but I'm definitely feeling excited. 5th place 12, as you mentioned, over 900 days since Bentley played their last Senol NPL Victorian home game here, especially. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they fare. We've got the UDOS smoke all up in the air here. It is a beautiful evening of twilight football. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this Avondale squad go indeed. So let's see how the boys fare. Last minute.
Absolutely so, and we'll take you through the starting lineups for tonight's contest. An unchanged 11 for Avondale after they fell last week to South Melbourne Hellas at home. And we'll start off with the away side. Number 1, Jack Gibson. Number 4, Patrick Flopman. Number 5, Matthew Reed. Number 7, Adam Zimolino. Number 9, George Ott. Number 10, Bruno Fornaroli. Number 13, Yite Towns. Number 14, Blake Carpenter. Number 23, Christian Trajczewski. Number 24, Emlyn Wellsmore. And number 77, Seita Murai. As for the Bentley Greens, number 1, Brendan White. Number 3, Keiji Kadeyama. Number 4, Scott Hillier, who returns to face his former side. Number 7, Makis Petratos. Number 10, Anthony Lynn, earns his first start for his new side. Number 12, Dion Nicolaitis. Number 15, Mario Baldea. Number 22, Michael Boffey. Number 28, Alan Jelez. Number 30, Luca Resti. Number 68, Kalalu Kamara. As we see the Avengers look to build up from the back. No Jacob Muir tonight. He's still coming back from, you would suspect, some much-needed fitness, and, of course, a few other players to return for the Avengers. Dylan Jacoupy not in the squad, among others. Stefan, what did you make of Avondale's performance last week against South Melbourne? Granted, South were a lot fitter, it has to be said, due to the OFC Pro League commitments, but they had encouraging spurts.
Of course. I mean, the sheer number of games that South Melbourne have played is definitely on another level compared to everyone. They really haven't had an off-season. Obviously, OFC Pro League that they've still been playing in, so the number of games, I should say, that they've been playing has been way more. That was basically their round 8 or 9 compared to, Avondale that came in fresh. Obviously, Avondale, the last game that they had played was the quarter-final in the Australian Championship where they fell short to Moreton City Excelsior 3-1. So, again, I'm not really too surprised with how South Melbourne played. South Melbourne, again, on another level with the way that they played. But, I mean, look, this is a brand new Avondale squad with a lot of new players and a lot of key players that are missing, along too with their head coach, Zoran Markovski, who ended up going to Preston. So it'll be interesting to see how this team does gel. I think they've still got a number of core players that they still have, obviously, in the lineup. So we're going to have to wait and see as the season does progress how this Avondale team does end up unfolding. Absolutely.
We'll see Blake Carpenter take the throw in from that far side. Directed towards Kajiyama, unable to reach it. Into feet Trajczewski. Emlyn Wellsmore in space. And Merlino looking a very nice little flick back to find Trajczewski. He's got space in his central right-hand channel, looking to go all the way, entering the box. Trajczewski driving towards the byline, across the face it goes, and he wins the first corner of the evening. And it looks as if Blake Carpenter will stand over the set piece. One of the very few players that have remained at the club, Trajczewski, since arriving at the club all the way back in the early 2020s. course, retained alongside Ute Towns, Emlyn Wellsmore, and Matthew Reid, of course. Here is Blake Carpenter standing over this one. A few seasons interrupted with injury, but seems to be back at his very best. Is the South Australian-born fullback. Short corner arrives. Trycheski, nice little flick to find Carpenter on his left boot potentially. Driving towards the byline himself, it's Blake Carpenter across the face. Zimmerlino looking to get a touch, unable to do so. The header from Flotman is directed on Roots, but Brendan White is able to make the save.
Beautiful play there from Avondale, trying to build it up. Happy was Trycheski managing to just flick the ball back. It was Blake Carpenter's for days, so let's see if Avondale can keep on building on that form as this game does progress. Ball's now with Kamara in the back third. Quite the game last week against Caroline Springs George Cross. Now what can the Bentley Greens produce right now? Ball's going to be crossed in from that right-hand flank position. Ball's up in the air this time. It was headed by Reid. And it will be Avondale's ball. So easy little sequence of play here for Bentley, but they just quite can't seem to put that finalising play. But obviously still early days here. Both these teams still going to try and feel each other out. Obviously brand new goalkeeper as well, Jack Gibson, who was put through his test last week against South Melbourne. Only conceded the 2, but obviously he's got quite the shoes to fill after Thomas Manos has departed. Obviously now the new Oakley Cannons goalkeeper. Avondale going to play it down the line. Zimmerino working his way centrally. Who's trying to go one-on-one. He had Boldea. Instead it is Avondale's football here. Avondale still going to have this one. Good strong contest there between Zimmerino and Boldea. Not sure if the camera's picking up, but the amount of Udos smoke that's in the air here at Kingston Heath, it is quite in the abundance. We're going to have Towns to take his first set piece of the game here. Has his hand up. Going to send it right down. Almost sending it straight to the goalkeeper and Brendan White. Didn't really have a target on that one. And Avondale just throw that one away. We're going to see if Bentley can try and have a little bit of a resurgence.
And Brendan White, of course, between the sticks. Tonight, of course, players played under George Katsakis many times. Previously at, of course, Heidelberg with 2 stints at the club, and has joined him to Kingston Heath as a part of their promotion push last year. Only the 40 goals scored and the 20 goals conceded. Remarkable stuff from Katsakis' side, and they are counter-attacking marvels. A litany of players have come and gone in the most recent off-season. Sean Ellis and Adrian Zara, 2 George Katsakis lifers have departed for divisions below. In, of course, Brunswick Juve in Ellis's case, and the Essendon Royals for Adrian Zara. It's well won by the Greens. Here's Boldea, Kajiyama, Nicolaitis. Thrown in field. Long looping ball. Petratos. Keeping up in this right-hand flank. Zimmerlino near the byline, but so say the touchline rather. Towns to Emlyn Wellsmore. Had a fantastic season with the Oakley Cannons a few years ago, scoring against, of course, Sydney FC. That tremendous win it was. Flotman looking to drive it upfield. Ott. Seita Murai. Tricky feet. Trycheski. Twisting, weaving, and able to bypass the options available up towards Bruno Fornaroli, who's in an offside position. El Tuna unable to fashion that one home. But Avondale are really imposing themselves early and enforcing, well, what you would say is the Shoni Germano way.
see Avondale keep on trying to feed that ball to Fornaroli. Fornaroli, the captain here this evening, representing and wearing that armband. So let's see what he can produce. Obviously, one of the big new signings that has joined the Senol NPL Victorian competition. Probably the biggest name that we've had, along with so many others, but Bruno Fornaroli doesn't come any bigger. The former Melbourne City, Perth Glory and Melbourne Victory man. 24 goals in a single season with Melbourne City back in 2015 and 16 season. 27 games, 24 goals. That's quite the season. Let's see now what Avondale can produce again. Oh, they're just tipping the ball around, really setting themselves up well here, and they're settling in beautifully. Just over 8 minutes in this one. Let's see what they can provide still here. Ball's on the far side. Flotman off to Reed. Reed with a whole heap of space. Now back out to Emlyn Wellsmore, the former Oakley Cannons man. As Neil mentioned, tries to cross it in. And it looked promising there. I think he had Zimmerino in his sights. Just couldn't quite time the pass nor the run from Zimmerino. So Avondale, they're looking really, really strong here. If there were any questions as to if they could shake off some of the worries from their loss last week, they're definitely starting to prove all the doubters and naysayers wrong, because they're really settling in well here. And I should mention as well, shout out to Yee Towns. Beautiful haircut that he's gotten over the past week. He's rocking the mullet, Mohawk-esque. So
I think they call it a skullet,
Stefan. I'm not sure what he does, but it's looking tremendous though. So if he does go back and watch this, shout out. I'm loving the trim.
As the beautiful sunset of Melbourne, as you can see in the background. What a fantastic backdrop to what is a great facility here at Kingston Heath. Matthew Reid in the heart of defence here. Trajewski dropping deep to receive. The diagonal was sublime in execution, but the quickness of Emlyn Wellsmore wasn't able to reach that in that instance. Here's Dion Nicolaitis. Should mention about
Avondale really trying to feed Wellsmore so far, really. So keep an eye out on that.
Oh, yeah.
Neil, because that looks to be their go-to play right now.
And who can really blame them? Here's Saita Morai. Fornaroli. Able to brisk pass Scott Hillier. He's been given the captain's armband as well, interestingly enough, to note. Stefan. Usually Matthew Reid would be the captain, but it seems as if there's been a changing of the guard at Avondale, as there is a player on the deck for the Bentley Greens.
Alan Jerez down.
Yes. Of course, his first start for the Greens as well, after arriving from St Albans Dynamo, 2 goals for last season. I think this is break and play, Stefan. Will give us an opportunity to have a look at the other scores around the grounds today. I mean, it's, just a few fixtures on your casual Friday night in the Senol NPL Men's Victoria.
By any bigger than this tonight.
No. I mean, only one more to follow tomorrow, which is really a real testament to the glorious Friday nights of the Senol NPL Men's Victoria. It is currently 2-0 to George Cross over Green Gully in the Maltese Derby. Melbourne City lead 2-0 against Dandenong City, which is a tremendous effort so far at half-time there. And the Cannons locked at 1-1 with the Altona Magic. So, yeah, some interesting results across the board, Stefan. I mean, many tipped City to struggle, but they are punching well above their weight so far.
They're doing really, really well. Obviously, I mean, we were speaking about it before. I mean, Liam Bonatig, he's in the starting lineup this time around, which is phenomenal to see. Some of those A-League players coming down and playing with those under-23s. So I think talk about kind of the guidance and, mentoring some of these new players that are starting. I like to call them young boys because they're still maturing, and by the time they do mature, it'll be tremendous when they do step foot into the A-League outfit for their senior program. But I think it's really good, and surprisingly doing a really, really good job against the finalists last year against Heidelberg United, who pretty much pushed Heidelberg all the way. So unbelievable effort from them, from those young boys. So it'll be interesting to see how they do keep going throughout the season. Not a lot of people obviously have them on their cards for doing really well, obviously, because they are young. I want to get your thoughts on that one.
I think when you have the luxury of having players like Ben Mazzio and Bessian Kudleshi to play, it's a real luxury to have. as we'll see Alan Jerez come off. That's an absolutely devastating night for him, as he only spent a few minutes on the park. But we'll see one of Bentley's very own, Dimitri Relos, to come on. In his late teens, this young man, and played through the entire Bentley Greens youth system from under 13s onwards. It's a real testament to the very assured youth setup they have here, and of course received plenty of minutes last year in VPL 1. A beautiful flick from Fornaroli. Now back with Carpenter. Into feet is Ott. Can he bypass Kamara? He can initially, although he's been forced towards the corner flag. And I think they've won themselves. Oh no, in fact they haven't won a corner. It's going to be a goal kick.
Interesting little play there for Avondale, but the back third just proving a little too strong here for Bentley. Kalu Kamara really setting himself up well here against his former side. So shout out Kalu Kamara, who is playing a fantastic so far 13 and a half minutes of this game. Can he keep it up though is the question. We'll have to wait and see. Brendan White with the goal kick to bring us back into proceedings here at Kingston Heath. Hopefully Alan Jerez is okay, nothing too major, we hope. Ball's up now for Bentley. It was looking promising, but instead quickly intercepted. Towns. Now managed to get threaded through by Trajewski, and now Bentley going to try and win it back here. Oresti clears it out now to Petratos. Petratos one-on-one with Emlyn Wellsmore, and Wellsmore gets the better and just gets that one over the touchline. Bentley's football still here. And this time, possibly their first real chance at an attacking opportunity. Oresti with a beautiful little back flick. Back off once again. Here's Oresti again inside. And he was well offside there. Promising play there, Luke Oresti with a beautiful little flick back. Quite managed to nail that one, nor his time of his run. So we'll look to see if Avondale can try and get things back up underway. Fornaroli. Here he is centrally. Tried to go back off down the line. It was calling for it there was Carpenter on that far left-hand flank. Wellsmore back off to Trajewski and works it way back to Reed. Flotman switching it up from near side to far side. Murai now going to play it forwards centrally to Fornaroli, and once again Bentley's defense is just a little bit too strong at the moment here. One of the key facets which really put them in good spirit last week against George Cross is they really stopped a lot of their attack. That back third of Bentley just proving to be the beneficiary here. This could be another chance here on that far right-hand flank now. And the newbie who's just been clocked on, he's just going to be sent down, and it will be Avondale's football there. Promising by Dimitri Relos. A bit of a mouthful to say, but we'll see if Avondale can look to try and regroup themselves and try and go again, because they're looking really promising here so far, Neil.
Absolutely so. And one thing to know about Dimitri Relos is he scored 22 goals in 18 games in VPL 1s, under 23s and 2024. And he was 17 at the time as well, which is a true testament to the quality that they have throughout their youth ranks. And if he can find some space, he's got lightning quick pace and has that ability to get under the opponent's skin as well. And we'll see as to how he can impose himself tonight. As goal kick from Gibson. Zimolino, of course, the ex-Perth Glory and Brisbane Roar man, 18 appearances in the most recent Isuzu Ute A-League season. As we do see Makis Petratos looking to bypass Bart Wellsmore, but the Kiwi by Avenue of Queensland did very well to break him off, and Matthew Reid made sure that the ball would be sent all the way into the back pitch, the back synthetic pitch. With the 23s.
Windshield got shot from back kick by Matty Reid.
Absolutely so. The flick on from Petratos. No one to meet it. A few players in heads here. Here is Lynn with the attempted strike on goal. It's headed away by Flotman. Ball bouncing. It's eventually bypassed by Reid, who looked to collect someone. Relos with the attempted flick. Oh, it just took a heavy deflection. And put Jack Gibson in all sorts. After calls upon calls for fouls, the Bentley Greens win their first corner of the evening.
I was going to say, talk about a promising new prospect coming up, especially in the Bentley Greens organisation. That's one way to make an impact. Had that goal gone in, this whole stand in front of us would have gone bananas here, Neil, especially for
Absolutely.
Dimitri Relos. So
Absolutely so.
coming up here on that far side.
And we will see as to what their corner routine will be like here at Kingston Heath. And it looks as if they'll go long upon first inspection at least. High looping ball towards the back post. Kamara is there, still bouncing around. I think that might have been Anthony Lynn with the attempted flick on header. Of course, the arrival from the National League North side. Leamington spent time at Swindon Town's under 18s with 2 goals in the National League this year, National League North rather, and just slots straight into the starting lineup, Stefan.
Oh, he's doing quite the job out there, so he's definitely earned that starting lineup. Wasn't in the starting lineup last week, but rightfully so, he's been quite the addition into the starting lineup this week. Zimmerino, one-on-one. It was with Nicolidis, who just took that corner. Here's Oresti, the electrifying man, sending it out wide to Petratos, who just about keeps it alive. Ball's very close to the touchline, tries to cross it in. In the back, I believe, was Dimitri Relos, and it's still a chance here. Oresti tried to get the volley to finish. A little bit off balance with that one, but really, really promising here from Bentley. I spoke a little bit earlier about Avondale settling into this one, but boy, oh boy, have the last couple of minutes, the tides have really turned in favour of the hosts. Bentley Greens putting on a show at the moment. That corner, the shot from Relos, and now obviously with that attempted volley attempt by Oresti. Oresti's looking really promising so far. Former Melbourne City A-League player and the Central Coast Mariners NPL New South Wales player as well. Now down here in the Senol NPL Victorian League.
And yeah, I think interesting to know, he spent time at Preston as well after departing the Mariners, and only has just that one senior men's appearance for Melbourne City in the Australia Cup round of 32 against Newcastle Olympic in 2022. So it's been quite a while, and I suppose it's just the nature of how things go for Luke Oresti. Really trouble with injury, but it's good to see him sort of reach full flight again in a Bentley green shirt.
He's definitely doing a phenomenal job out there, so we'll see if he can continue this stellar performance that he's having right there. It's just going to be over with the Bentley Greens on the far side. It will be the captain, Scott Hillier, I should say, correction. He's going to take this throw in, and it looks to be a long throw, a classic. Neil Simons would love this one, a classic Maxi Mikkola-esque long throw. Seeing them more and more. The long throw is in the box this time, and it was instead George Ott that managed to get the head on it. And this time we will be having a corner here. Could this be the one? Last week I kind of jinxed Green Gully and said I don't see this game ending in a draw, and would you believe it, it was right in that moment that they scored a goal. So maybe I might have the signature touch, Neil, but we'll have to wait and see. Dion Nicolidis to take this corner. He took it previously. Now he's going to take this one again. A couple of the players moving. Instead, it elects to roll quickly off to Petratos. Tries to cross it in himself. And this could be a chance here for Avondale. Fornaroli threads it out. What can they do with this one? There was Murai. Kicked it straight into the feet of the Bentley Greens. Just having bodies flying everywhere here at the moment. Oh, had a little bit of a tussle with Scott Hillier, the captain. Hillier managed to pop up, and Ott decided to go run down the channel. So Avondale looked promising. They thought about going on the counter-attack, but Seita Murai quite nailed the kick, but really encouraging signs so far here. Not only from Avondale, but from both these two sides. So we'll see who's going to be the first to blink here, Neil.
Yeah, I think they just really need to unlock the attacking acumen of Seita Murai. I mean, 12 goals in 22 games in NPL Queensland is a tremendous feat. And, of course, I think he has to be the focal creative outlet for them as well. I mean, played for the likes of FC Imbari and also had 3 appearances in J3, which is a very good level. And to have someone with his acumen is a real testament to the quality that they're able to possess. Is Lynn able to push past Ita Towns with effective ease? Here's Relos with the strike en route, and it takes a tussle, and able to get the best of Jack Gibson, forced to make a save and dive to his left. just punch it away for a corner. He's been very lively since he's come on, the 19-year-old. 13 appearances last year in VPL 1 with 2 goals. Looking to add to his goal-scoring tally this time.
Touch Neil as well. I mean, Seita Murai, he was the one that kind of shattered Avondale's dream.
Pretty much.
In that quarter-final of the Australian Championship. So funny that he's wearing their jersey.
Fashion towards the back post. It's Kamara! It's en route. It's in! The Greens are back where they belong in the top flight. And it's a wonderful and tremendous start. The avenue from Makis Petratos. They fought so hard, diligently, and it is their former defender, Kalalu Kamara, who is the impetus for the Greens' opening goal. And the aftermath of the Australian Championship for Avondale. The hangover continues, and it's one of their former players to haunt them in some way.
What a finish, Neil. I mean, that ball came right in directly under. I thought it was Kalalu Kamara that managed to put it in. Put Jack Gibson right on the stretch. And instead, it was the finish that followed up by the one and only Petratos, putting the finishing touches in after what was a tremendous game that he had last week against Caroline Springs George Cross. And now this time, to really make his moment count and put the ball in the back of the net. That is one way that you can have a tremendous start if you are the coach here. So Bentley Green, they are the leaders so far. 1-0, just under 25 minutes have elapsed here in this first half. And Avondale already on the back foot, just like they were last week after that first goal by South Melbourne. Pretty much trailed the entire game after they lost, but I mean, really, really quality finish there. So we'll see if Avondale can try and bite back here. Reed. Now back with Flotman. Can Avondale get one directly back? Murai. Work your way back to Flotman. Here's Reed. Brings it out to Wellsmore. Slowing the tempo down here, not letting Bentley really try and roll quickly here. Here's Murai. Can he try and thread it through? Fornaroli tried to get possession. It was Kalalu Kamara that was there, the former Avondale man, not allowing Fornaroli past. Here's George Ott now. Settles himself up and sizes the moment. One-on-one with Murai, along two with Kageyama. A one-on-one between those two energetic superstars. And it will be Avondale's Seita Murai that will walk away with the possession and a set piece here. And a chance to possibly equalise it back at a goal all.
I mean, the tussle between the two Japanese imports, Seita Murai and Kenji Kageyama, that's tantalising. I mean, the skills and technical acumen from Murai is really going to be a treat to watch this year in the Senol NPL Men's Victoria. But what can Trycheski fashion here?
Trycheski now to take this free kick. Got about 6 players in the box here. What can he create? It's towards the back post. Matty Reeds rose up, but he couldn't quite finish it off. He tried to get one back after the really good finish that we had only moments ago from Petratos, but instead it's a missed opportunity there for Avondale.
He had to direct it en route. It was an open goal, and you have to make your set pieces count, and that's the difference between these two sides at the moment. Bentley have really capitalised off their set piece and corner opportunities, and I think Avondale, that needs to be something they need to focalise more on, not just from a defensive perspective, but I mean, that really should be 1-1 at the moment. Here's Wellsmore.
Especially that first corner that Bentley had. I mean, they really got really close with it.
Here's Zimarino looking to enter the box on that right-hand side. He's got space up ahead of him, but he's got Wellsmore laterally available, and he's been cut out. Here's Petratos on this near touchline side. Unable to make an avenue going forward. But as Stefan, as you mentioned, I think it's Avondale, they don't look lethargic. I just think as if the way that they've set up at the moment is a little bit disjointed. That's just my perspective.
I definitely agree with you. There seems to be a little bit and a couple openings that so far Bentley are really exploiting, especially threading the ball out to Petratos. That's proving to be one kind of play that they're constantly going to. So
yes,
we'll see if they look to try and kind of close those gaps. But at the moment, Bentley are just on another level right now compared to Avondale.
And again, a misdirected ball from Patrick Flopman, who again, I want to put into focus. They've not signed a single player in this off-season from a fellow Senol NPLM Men's Victoria club, if I'm correct in saying that.
I pretty much agree.
They've all come from sides in the NPL New South Wales,
Yep.
A-League Youth Academies, obviously the two Japanese imports from Morden City, Murphy Bennett as well, who they've brought across from the UK.
Yep.
It's the way that they've decided to go this year, but again, they're on the counter-attack here. Here's Maki Petratos switching to the right-hand side. Oh, what a hit! Maki Petratos has put his name in the headlines tonight. A delightful finish on his left boot. Pierces the top left corner. Take a bow. Maki Petratos. Unbelievable. Wowee. And Avondale are stunned tonight at Kingston Heath. What a hit. What a hit.
That does not get any better than that. You're 100% right. He is going to be making the headlines all evening so far. 2 goals, and they were about 6 to 7 minutes apart. Maki Petratos, take a bow as you would, my friend. If that first goal was anything, that second one was even better. And I think it's pretty hard. It's pretty easy to say that it's definitely hard to try and one-up a goal in football, but Maki Petratos has only just gone and done so. Top bins as well, and now really putting Avondale under pressure. Let's see if Avondale can try and respond. They really haven't been feeling it all night, and just like that, it's just been mistakes that have really been costing them.
If I'm Shawnee Germano, I would be stressing. If I was Shane Rekshepi, I'd be stressing. If I were Kontangalakis and George Katsakis, I would be cruising at the moment. They have completely outmuscled, outplayed, and I think the ingenuity of the Bentley Greens has been just far greater than Avondale. I mean, I'm bemused. I'm completely confused.
I'm baffled as to how this game's unfolding, Neil, because this is a game that kind of, I guess we both came in thinking that maybe, obviously, Bentley Greens, new addition, obviously their second game back in the top flight. They haven't played in quite some time back on this level, on this stage, and they are absolutely wowing the current premiers, because this is a performance of a lifetime for Bentley, and maybe it could be a home ground advantage, maybe, possibly, I'm not exactly too sure, but the way that they're playing, they are, as you said, I think one word that you didn't probably say is they are outclassing Avondale on another level right now. They are picking them apart, and they are just looking for spots, and I mean, as I mentioned before, they're feeding Petratos well, and just like that, right when I say that, he manages to slot one right in top bins, because we have Avondale going once again. This could be somewhat of a desperation play here, goes straight into the hands of the goalkeeper there, of Brenton White. So another failed opportunity there for Avondale, but this is just a completely lopsided affair here.
Oh, yeah.
Bentley are just, as I mentioned, on another class, and this could be another chance here. Nicolaides now in open space. Does he go to Petratos? He does again. Why wouldn't you feed him? Why not? He's hot right now. And maybe it might get a little bit colder now with that one. Just like a cold Euro right now, but boy, has he had some performance right now.
And I think it has to be said, his stint at Heidelberg in 2022 does get often forgotten. And the fact that Katsakis has brought him back to Victoria and brought him to the Bentley Greens is one of the most underrated signings. I mean, in a team that really struggled last year in the Sutherland Sharks, who were teetering on relegation, he did manage to score 9 goals. Spent time in the Greek Super League as well. Has Isuzu A-League experience with the Jets, of course, with his brother Dimitri at the time. And he's just of immense quality. And when you put him in a system and he can play a functioning role, you can see what he can do. Here's George Ott. Looking to let one fly, and that's right into the trees. Stefan, I mean, Avondale, I don't want to harp on too much about the way that they've set up, but George Ott is now playing centrally. They're playing Bruno on the left. Bruno is not a winger. I've got to be completely honest here, and I don't want to criticize them too much, but it just seems as if they're resorting to different options and different avenues to find different pockets and spaces. I mean, you're better off playing, in my opinion, Trycheski on the left if you really want to resort to something like that. I mean, yeah, it's very confusing.
They're switching it up on the fly, and that, if you are an opposition, you're looking at that thinking, you like it. You like it because if you're switching on the fly like that, it goes to show that you weren't expecting it and you're kind of worried. So they're really trying to use Fornaroli in different ways that probably even they didn't think. We might have a chance here. Oresti had a beautiful thread ball from Petratos, who's just playing on another worldly level right now. But they're switching on the fly, and that's concerning if you're Avondale when you can't really resort to the formation and the tactics that you had in the pregame. As to now, we are approaching, we're just over 33 minutes here in this first half. We just got over 12 minutes to go here, obviously with a little bit of stoppage time to go as well before we complete proceedings. But that is concerning if you're Avondale. And look to see if they can try and change things back. Obviously, still plenty more of this ball game to go. But I mean, this is a scoreline that they were pretty much beaten by last week by South Melbourne. So we'll see if they can try and fix things up. Still plenty more football to go. Resti was trying to chase after it. But the ball just had a little bit too much juice behind it. So it's going to be Jack Gibson here to just roll the ball and get things back under proceedings here.
And I want to also put focus that Manuel Achol is not available for Bentley, and they've completely won the midfield battle here. And it just really puts into focus a player that has played in Conference League qualifiers and has played in the top flight of Latvia.
Sorry to cut you off, but we're just going to go over the fact that Baldea just managed to absolutely smother and take the ball across Trycheski. I mean, this is a player that's probably one of, if not the best player in the Senol Victorian NPL, and he just got outclassed by Baldea.
Well, let's not discount Mario Baldea. He's a new signing for the Bentley Greens, and he did play for Unelia Alba in the third tier of Romania, so a decently high level, and of course there's Romania himself. So the scouting for the Bentley Greens is truly at a fever pitch, and Katsakis has brought him in and has really played a commanding role at the base of midfield. Baldea back towards the fullback of Keiji Kajiyama. Michael Boffey. He's been around the traps plenty in the last few seasons. His Relos out wide. Space for the Greens to attack on that right-hand channel. They're going to fashion one, and they do. It's weighted with much intensity, and it's going to go all the way out for a throw-in, but I think putting focus back to the action. I mean, Avondale have to get a goal prior to the half. Otherwise, Bentley, this is what they'll do in the classic Katsakis fashion, will likely sit back and absorb pressure. But here is Emlyn Wellsmore on this near side. Not the intended target. Kajiyama feeds it in. Well, the nice little flick it was, I believe it was from Oresti. Nicolaitis able to pick it up. Spent last season at Melbourne Knights as they went down in the NPL Men's Victoria. Prior to that was a Heidelberg Junior for life, essentially, and played a very key role in the last few seasons of George Katsakis' tenure. And Bruno Fornaroli has been forced so wide tonight. It's really weird to see. Feels strange almost. And it's rare that you talk about a game involving Bruno Fornaroli, and he's not the centre of attention, to be honest. Here's Tamurai. Flopman back towards Gibson. Himself, just the one game in the Isuzu A-League following an outstanding season with Marconi Stallions. In 2023, his debut game was against MacArthur FC in a 3-1 win. And then, unfortunately, tore his ACL in warm-up, and then spent last season at Sydney Olympic in the NPL New South Wales competition. It is Wellsmore. Half volley finds Relos, able to bypass Di Marino with ease. Now back with Scott Hillier. He's the longest tenured Bentley Green player, of course. Arrived at the club in 2023, following a few glittering seasons with Avondale, including that 2022 Doherty Cup win. 2021, rather, should I say.
while we have a bit of a hole in play, may as well go and discuss some of the games that are happening as well. Unchanged is the scoreline between Green Gully and Caroline Springs George Cross in that Maltese derby. 2-0 still in favour of George Cross. We have a 3-1 lead between Melbourne City and Dandenong City. It is Melbourne City leading that one 3-1. It is 1-1 at half-time between the Oakley Cannons and Altona Magic. And it is a 1-0 lead for the hosts between Preston and St Albans Dynamo. So some of the scores in and around the ground. 5 games unfolding here this evening. A epic night of football. Tracheski has to thread it around. Here's Giorgio inside the box. Tries to go. Why didn't he take the shot? Decides to go all the way back to Fornaroli. They're going to look to try and resettle here, Avondale. They're just missing some opportunities. Fornaroli, Murai. Tried to go back off the Fornaroli. Fornaroli couldn't quite get there, but just does. And now here's Wellsmore in space. Managed to fake out Petratos. Ball's inside now. Flotman. And Avondale are just looking really, really shaky. Some of the game plan isn't really working for Avondale. I'm not too sure why Georgia decided not to take the shot. I thought it was definitely a clear as day opportunity for him to try and present one in the back of the net. Instead, not really electing to take that shot. So maybe that could be a tactical decision. I'm not exactly too sure. Maybe his confidence isn't quite there.
I don't know. I think Avondale have been very lackadaisical with their passing movements. It's been a lot of misdirected passes, which should find the intended target you would expect on a normal day. Oh, yes. I think sloppiness is a more apt word to use. Baldea. Petratos manages to keep it in on the near touch line. Driving in feet. Looking to find a delightful ball inside for Lynn, but couldn't do so. And be all too easy for Jack Gibson. Matthew Reid. Approaching the 40th minute here at Kingston Heath. George Ott. The Travella pass to find Trycheski. Kamara's able to get there in the way. And he's been misdirected. That's a clear handball against Kamara. However, the throw-in will go to the Avengers. They'll win the ball, just not quite where they wanted it. I don't think a set piece is always better than a throw-in. Unless you're, of course, South Melbourne Hellas. Trycheski, that's a delightful ball to find Wellsmore. Across the face it goes, but Michael Boffey got in the way. And it will be a corner to the Avengers. Of course, Boffey, this is his second stint at the Bentley Greens after playing there at 2023. Since at stints at Preston Lions and Northcote City. And it will be Blake Carpenter with his classic in-swinging ball.
Let's see what opportunity this could be for Avondale. I'm sure they'd love to really try and strike one back after the worries that they've had over the past couple of minutes.
Here is Blake Carpenter. Fashion deep. Reid flicks it wide.
These chances, they're just piling on top for Avondale here. Last week, they had 6 shots on goal. 0 were on target. So I think the game is really following in the theme of last week against South Melbourne Hellas. Not desirable for Avondale. And halftime, they're definitely going to need to change a couple of things around because the tactic that they're rolling with right now, it's not really suiting them well. 4.5 minutes to go here of regular time, and then we will go into some stoppage time as well. So it'll be interesting to see if Avondale can possibly try and get a last-minute goal. They haven't really had too many clear possessions. Kamara was fighting off Fornaroli. Murai, the greatest touch. Trycheski manages to keep it alive. Carpenter faking out Oresti. Murai, he's had his work cut out from in the engine room. I do have a couple of players down there. It is Trycheski. It will be Avondale's football here. Could this be the opportunity that they need? What they need is just one to just be creative inside the box and a possible header or even just a nudge. It's surprising how these goals can come, and I'm sure they would love to try and just get one just before halftime and really kind of halt Bentley's momentum, because Bentley is playing with no fear at the moment. So a set piece here, and it looks to be Blake Carpenter, the one that's going to be taking it. And it's a low set piece indeed there, and the ball's loose inside the back. And a couple of Avondale players were just calling for our referee to signal it, but instead it will be a goal kick here for Brendan White. So another missed opportunity here for Avondale, and they are just mounting right now. If we had a tally here, Neil, of the amount of missed opportunities that Avondale are having, I'll tell you what, both you and I will be probably millionaires by the end.
It's half chances, to be honest. I mean, that's to just be completely transparent. It's gilt-edged chances, and I just don't think they've really taken full advantage of the conditions tonight in terms of the state of play and items like that.
Don't get me wrong, they have had moments
yes.
where they've looked well, and they've looked and they've built up the play, but just those are small moments, and those are, I'd say, about 10 to 15 to 20%. All the rest, they've just been sloppy passes. They haven't really managed to take anything on.
I agree completely, and I think the main thing I can really determine is Bentley have physically outmuscled them. They've imposed their strength rigid in their tactical system, and it's really shown tonight. There's a ball out wide from Trycheski, looking to find the avenue of Blake Carpenter. Unsuccessful in his attempt was the South Australian, but really Avondale look out of ideas. I mean, they used to play through teams, through Tevere, Trycheski, Valentini, Zini. You don't have those players anymore. Of course, Tevere's gone to the Perth Glory, but Zini's gone to Preston. I mean, much has been made of Avondale's squad turnover, but it's going to take a while before these players can gel, and I don't think it's time to panic just yet. Obviously, with another 45 minutes to play, but the alarm bells would not be ringing, but just sort of signaling. Oh, I'm not sure.
Sure, if you can put that.
I need to find a euphemism or something like that. Here's Relos, deft touch. Relos still able to win the pass. Roll out towards Maki Petratos. Looking to bypass Wellsmore. It's Petratos! Oh, looking for his hat-trick, and he's won the corner for the Greens. So one final opportunity on the stroke of half-time, as we'll look to see how many minutes of added time there will be. Fourth official tonight, James Langoya, has not signalled how many minutes we'll have, so we'll die trying. Maybe, I don't know.
Said that one pretty well. Even I was having a look right there at our fourth official. He was nowhere near the board, so.
Kajiyama to swing this in on his right boot. It's fizzed in with much intensity. It's going to be fashioned away, and I think the Greens will look to try their luck again. In fact, they will not. We'll be through a throw-in this time, and as Michael Boffey's going to take the long road back to the centre circle. And Scott Hillier is going to take his plenty time to throw this in.
Definitely no rush here for Bentley. They can
no.
Pretty much just trying to hold their time right now, because they are in a commanding lead right now. The ball once again going over the touchline. Avondale looks to be the ones that are just going to hold us out until completion of this first half is done and dusted. But once again, they're just creeping up here slowly, Avondale. Could this be one last roll of the dice potentially? Fornaroli is stuck on that far side. Mulroy managed to get there. Threaded it back to Carpenter. Carpenter managed to chip it over. Try and slow things down, as it was Dario Baldea. That was the one that just tripped up Sata Mulroy. The Avondale's kicking.
What an interesting first half. I didn't know what to expect going into this game. Both sides, of course, scoreless in round one. But the Greens have flexed their muscle. And they've shown that they're here to play. And they're not here to just make up the numbers and just escape relegation or finish mid-table. They want to compete.
This is a very, very outstanding performance. I'm trying to use selective words here because they are playing incredibly well, and I 100% agree with you. That is a dream first half for them. Obviously, a lot of doubts for them. Obviously, second game in the Senol NPLM, we might have to hold on to that as Petratos once again. I'm just trying to hold my words whenever Makis Petratos has the football because it's just producing magic here this evening. But, I mean, they've come out lopsided this first half and just really put on a performance of a lifetime. So, shout out to the Bentley Greens organisation. They are just playing on another level right now. So we're going to have another corner here for Bentley. Kagiyama to take this corner once again here on this near side. On the DFO Moorabbin end of the pitch, the car park there just in the distance. Let's see if they can get one more goal to try and complete what has already been a fantastic first half from them. Back post. Almost went into the back of the net, and instead it's Kamara who's just going to try and slow proceedings down. This time the kick, maybe it was a bit of a pass and fake of a shot, and we are going to have full time there. A phenomenal first half indeed there by Bentley that completely surprised almost everyone here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. And Neil, if that first half was anything to go by, this is going to be an even bigger one for Bentley, but I think even bigger possibly for Avondale because they're not in this ball fight right now whatsoever.
No, they're not. And I think they've really been off the pace. I think mentally, I think physically, I think tactically as well. Look, we could talk more about the complexion of the next few weeks for the Avengers, but they really need to change something at half-time, both in their spacing, the tactical intuition, and I think the players as well. I don't think they've quite unlocked the avenue of Ute Towns, which is rare, but the Greens, conversely, they've been all over them in every facet.
Flat out.
Absolutely.
Attack, and they've just been exploiting them.
Not even, I think it's been more counter-attacking. They're taking those loose balls and really activating their style and the way that they want to do that.
It's very clean with the way that they're threading the ball.
And their kicks too.
And their kicks are precise. Avondale's are a little bit sloppy, so they've got a few things to tidy up. If they can manage to tidy it up, obviously they've still got to get 2 goals to try and equalise it. But if Avondale can tidy a few things up, we're in for an interesting second half.
Oh, yes,
so
we are.
Don't go anywhere, folks. If I was you, I'd grab a beer and I'd sit right back down because in about 15 minutes or so, if Avondale can tidy things up, we're in for a ball game here, Neil. So
absolutely.
You and I might be flying over the scaffolding.
Half-time here at Kingston Heath. It is Bentley Greens 2, Avondale 0.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kingston Heath Soccer Complex between Bentley Greens and Avondale FC in what was a very, very exciting and scintillating first half performance from the Bentley Greens, which saw them net 2 goals in that first half. Can they repeat it in this second half? We're going to have to wait and see. Avondale, though, on the back foot, exact same scoreline like last week when they went down at home to South Melbourne. It'll be very interesting to see how they can fight back and try and get a couple goals. Still goalless. They've conceded 4, haven't quite gotten close to even netting 1. And Neil Simon's with me here in the commentary position. Neil, speak about it from your point of view, because that was some half for Bentley. Can they repeat it, though, in the second half is the question. We'll
see. I mean, it seems as if Avondale are going to make a change. I think it's Max Green that's going to come on, and he's someone that is absolute dynamite at this level. 16 goals in 22 games last year for Canberra, Croatia, and tore Preston to shreds in the Australian Championship as well. So he's a handy addition to have, and of course, stints previously at Pascoe Vale in the lower tiers of the NPL will definitely come into full force. Of course, spent time with Sutherland Sharks in 2024. Only 2 goals in that season.
It was also just getting the official confirmation. Max Green is on, replacing Yeye Towns.
Yeah, it's an interesting change. And one thing I want to know, Avondale came out of the sheds 4 to 5 minutes after they were supposed to. So you're down 2-0 at half-time. There's a team talk for, let's say, maybe 10 minutes. I'm a bit confused about that. I mean, look, maybe it's a different approach, but I've never seen that in all my years covering this competition. I'm very surprised.
I've seen maybe like 1 to 2 minutes, fair, but 5 minutes when you're trailing 2-0 as well. I mean, try and use it up as much as you can and try and break the momentum. But I think clearly this is just kind of signs that they want to kind of get back up and running. And I think maybe it was just kind of them trying to tweak a couple things. Maybe they didn't need to stay in the shed for that long. So
if it's clear messaging, then maybe so, Stefan. But yeah, I have to agree. It's a bit puzzling.
Yeah, I think obviously Jonathan Henneman. I mean, look, clearly there's a reason why he's coaching and we're commentating for a reason. So clearly he's obviously seen otherwise of why, what can be changed. But obviously a couple of things can be tidied up. So we'll see if they can try and tidy up, as the set piece was high. And it was, I believe, Carpenter that ended up winning it. So let's see if Avondale can now try and use these next 45 minutes to their advantage. Obviously a really disappointing first half from probably the worst first half performance that they've played in quite some time. This isn't quite the Avondale that we're used to seeing, but obviously the new acquisitions that they've got, missing players, not the same Avondale team, so it is going to take some time for them to gel, as Oresti tried to find Petratos. And we're going to try and see Avondale here, look to try and roll here early. Murai now threading it straight down the channel for Georgiot, who had a shot before. He just sends that one, a little too much juice on that one again, Georgiot. Too much head of the steam, and just sends that one directly back towards the caging at the back. But so far, a promising little play there from Avondale, and that's really what they need to start doing here, Neil.
Absolutely so, and that's a really encouraging play to get Georgiot in behind. He's very lethal in those positions. Last year was heavily interrupted through injury, but we know when he's at his fittest, he's one of the better strikers in this competition. Of course, formerly of the likes of St Albans Dynamo and the Melbourne Knights prior to arriving at Avondale in 2023 in that mid-season window, in which they also acquired a few other pieces to their eventual double-winning squad in that season. So I want to take you back to 2019, Stefan. I mean, you would have been 14, I think.
I was 14.
Yeah,
correct.
I was 17, and Bentley Greens played against Avondale on the 18th of May.
I'm glad you're bringing up this stat, because I was also looking at this stat.
And the goal scorers for Bentley were Matt Thurtell and Marko Jankovic. That was the last time in which they defeated Avondale in regulation. Of course, they won, well, we have to say, the NPL Grand Final in 2019. Ryan Scott, the penalty hero in the shootout, of course it was, in the NPL Men's Grand Final, Senol NPL Men's Grand Final. Since that point, they've not defeated Avondale in the preceding, I think, 4 or 5 seasons in which they've both been in the same division. So, look, if they could accomplish that tonight, it'd be a huge occasion. I mean, it's 7 years of toiling away.
I've got the actual number figure here because I knew you were going to mention it. It's been 2,000. I'm going to do this Michael Cole-esque from WWE, all right? It's been 2,350 days since Bentley last defeated Avondale. That's 6 years and 5 months.
Yes.
It's been quite a while in between.
It has been.
With the way that it's going, though, I think that drought might be ending here tonight. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves because we do have another 45 to go. And
absolutely.
Look, with the way that Avondale came out with that first play with George absolutely sending that was a real message sign to say, hey, I think we might have tied a couple things up. We're really coming for you guys.
And look, I would never think to ever come to the realization that Ute Towns would be hooked at half-time, but it has certainly bear fruition. Of course, the record appearance holder for the Avengers in the Senol NPLM Men's Victoria is Matthew Reid. We're going to drift past halfway in space, looking to find Green on the right-hand flank. A nice little deft touch from Jonathan Germano. Of course, was the Mini Roos technical director and then was appointed head coach from the Australian Championship onwards following the departure of Zoran Markovsky, Jeff Fleming and Andy Vargas as well. Here's Zimmerino on this near touchline. Carpenter to his left. Zimmerino looking to fashion one and took a deflection. Kamara got to it in tow as well. Is Dimitri Relos. Going to play a smashing ball towards that left flank for the avenue of Maki Petratos. Flopman now. What a career he's had. Fortunately, suffered a fair few injuries over the last few seasons. Formerly of Sydney FC, Brisbane Roar, Air Force United as well. Has 3 Young Socceroos caps in 2015 to 2016. A nice little win from Bentley Greens in the base of midfield. Looking to strike one on Roots was, I believe, Mario Baldea. But certainly experience at the back for the Avengers. Can they turn defence to attack? That is the real question as the ball is with Jack Gibson.
This is obviously the 19th meeting between these two sides. It is, funnily enough, actually, the Bentley Greens that leads the head-to-head. 8 wins to Avondale 7, and they have had 3 draws since then. The last draw was back on the 21st of May in 2022. We had a 1-1 draw there, and we might see a possible goal appearing here. Zimmerino, the poor ricocheting straight off the body there of Scott Hillier. What can Avondale produce once again? A second chance opportunity here. Ball's inside the box, just chipped there. And another missed opportunity. And George Ott with a second chance on goal. Can't quite create it. Ball goes straight into Brenton White's hands. So another missed opportunity, but a positive sign indeed here for Avondale as they're taking more shots. It's a lot more of a tidied up approach here in this second half. So I think it might be more encouraging signs here, and Bentley are going to look to try and counter-attack really quickly, and they've won themselves a set piece. So Bentley, they're not playing around here. They'd love to get another one and really make life hard for Avondale.
I mean, why wouldn't you? I think Makis Petratos has got, as I would say in basketball terms, the hot hand, should I say the hot boot of his left or right foot, really. I mean, he's
doesn't matter which one.
Doesn't matter which one. He's been on point tonight. But we'll see the set piece arrive from Kenji Kajiyama. Of course, 8 appearances in J3, formerly of Basara Yogo, Toyo University, and Ryuko Okinawa.
So Yagiyama just holding and slowing it down. Tried to go into the bottom left-hand corner. It was promising. The angle was very, very shallow, but we'll see if they can try and convert something here from this corner. So a set piece goes to a corner. It will be Yagiyama once again on that far side this time. So we'll see if they can try and produce a little bit of magic like they did with that first goal that Petratos managed to boo back in. So let's see what Bentley can provide to really put this place in all sorts. Balls towards the back post. Kamara tries to control it with his chest, and it was one-on-one between himself and Blake Carpenter, both former defensive players in that back third, and it's Carpenter just managing to knock that one over the touchline.
Bruno is so deep right now. He's sitting so deep. I mean, he's almost being played as number 10. And I would never think to say that.
It's weird seeing that. And let's see if they possibly hold him there. Maybe it's a tactical change-up. We'll have to wait and see. Oresti, though. Petratos inside the box. Tries to get it out. Kagiyama mistimed his kick. Let's see if they can roll again here. And it was Nicolidis just getting a one-on-one contest between himself and Maxi Green. And this could be a chance here down the flank. It could be a chance here. Georgiot, he's chasing the ball. Tries to get it, create a chance, but he couldn't quite. And Avondale, once again, held up directly in their tracks. Dimitri Relos trying to fight off a charging Blake Carpenter, who's directly behind him. Trajewski fights it and wins it. Fornaroli back off to Trajewski. Avondale are in all sorts centrally in the pitch. And the midfield of Bentley is just proving too strong for the midfield of Avondale here, Neil.
Oy vey. I mean, that was a sumptuous ball from Max Green to find it. George Hott in behind yet again. It was a gilt-edged chance, but certainly had a beating of the avenue. And George Cross with a 2-0 win over Green Gully. Their first win in the Senol NPL Men's Victoria since their promotion last season, alongside the Bentley Greens in the regular season. Of course, City came up with them as well. They've also won their first NPL Men's Victoria game of the campaign with a 4-2 win over Dandenong City. Hajduk is 2-0 to the Preston Lions over the Altona Magic in a Macedonian derby. And the Cannons also lead. In fact, sorry, should I say St. Albans Dynamo. Football 24 is giving me a bit of headaches. Here's Dimitri Relos. Oh, beautiful step over. Relos across the face. It's Hillier. Approaches the byline across the face again. Wow, Jack Gibson forced to utilise his acrobatic skills to beat that away for a corner. Yeah, Football 24 said Preston were playing against Altona. Oi.
That doesn't quite sound right.
That doesn't sound right at all. Oakley lead 2-1 against the Magic at Jack Edwards. Not too far from here at Kingston Heath in the heart of Cheltenham.
Beautiful setting as well, might we add.
It's a great crowd tonight. It's a great crowd.
35 degrees as well. Perfect weather.
35 degrees? It felt more like 26, to be honest. Here's Nicolaides. Swings one in towards the back stick. No one to meet it. Here's Relos. Left edge of the penalty area. Twisting, weaving, looking to bypass Adam Zimarino. Couldn't do so, and Kajiyama is going to take the throw in. They go long this time. I think they might. Dion Nicolaides is going to take the requisite throw in.
I'll ask you a quick question here. What
Sure.
are your thoughts so far of Avondale's performance coming out in the second half? I mean, it's a different team so far compared to the first, though.
It's been better, but it's not been impressive in the sense that they can take this game by the scruff of the neck. They need one goal to just really unlock the attacking avenues, and they've not been able to do so. But it will be a goal kick for the Avengers, and they do have Stefan Valentini still available. They've got Murphy Bennett, who we saw a bit of last week. That's a really interesting signing. I mean, we'll obviously talk about him a bit more when he comes on, but that's an interesting signing, I have to be said. I mean, to bringing in a 21-year-old player from England, and for him to not even be in your best 11, it really says a bit about their recruitment in some ways, but he can prove me wrong happily. Here's Oresti. That's a delightful ball over the top to find Dimitri Relos, but Jack Gibson says, yep, that's going to go right on the top of the Kingston Heath Social Club.
Well, that one's going to leave a dent straight in the roof there. So Jack Gibson clearly trying to express some of his frustrations that he's had this evening.
As you would. Here's Scott Hillier with the throw-in.
Why not? If you're presented with the opportunity, you may as well go and send it. I mean,
when life gives you lemons, you make lemon juice or lemonade.
That's exactly right. Here's Hillier, throws it directly in front for Relos, who plays a beautiful ball to the captain, Hillier, who tries to cross it back inside the box to Anthony Lynn, but instead we're going to have another corner kick here for Bentley. So they're just really pouncing on Avondale at the moment. This is kind of like stale air here at the moment for Avondale. They're not really capitalising on opportunity, and this is kind of what was shades of that first half that happened, where they kind of went stale. So we'll see if they can try and really produce a little bit of magic here, because at the moment, Bentley Greens, they have their number. Here comes the corner once again towards the back post. And that one going over the sideline. So let's see if Avondale can try and create an opportunity. They haven't been on their best A game here thus far, so they're going to have to really try and systematically pick apart Bentley if they want any chance of trying to fight back into this ball game and have any chance at possibly trying to score some points here. Obviously, a loss from last week. I'm sure they'd love to get back on the scoring column. Here is Maxi Green, the new sub-don, pass from Yeye Towns. And another promising opportunity by George Ott. He's had 3 of them and he hasn't quite managed to slot one. So Avondale are getting a little bit urgent here with some of their shots that they're taking. Clearly trying to make up for the missed amount of opportunities they had. Relos is being double-teamed by Carpenter, and Morai almost won both of them in the contest. And down he goes. And a little bit of a tussle there. Hopefully both these players can get down. But Dimitri Relos is down. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, Blake Carpenter getting in the face of Dimitri Relos, and then Luke Oresti. I think he'll be going in the book here.
It was a... Let's not really get too concentrated on what's happening on the pitch, but how about Dimitri Relos decided to take on both Seita Murai and Blake Carpenter and almost got by him. And obviously frustration there for Carpenter. He probably hasn't had the best night here this evening, and obviously frustrations are just building for Avondale. Obviously Jack Gibson sending the boot onto the roof here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex, so you can just see that Avondale, they're really agitated. Like, this is a game that isn't going in their favour, and it's very scrappy for them. It's very, very scrappy. So that if they want, and obviously a confirmation of the booking there, but obviously not promising signs here for Avondale. They really need to try and clean things up a little bit here.
Oh, yeah. I think that's just that pent-up frustration really emanating from Blake Carpenter. I mean, Bruno Fornaroli, I mean, the captain's rule is being enforced here. Only the captain of the team that's been imposed the decision can speak to the referee. Lucas Matia just having a bit of a chat to Bruno Fornaroli. I mean, we've talked plenty about him tonight, but
if there's any person that you want standing up for your team, it's Bruno Fornaroli.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that guy knows football, and I've never seen, going on the transfer market website, I've never seen anyone that's played more football than Bruno Fornaroli. So we've got the set piece here this time. Yakiyama tries to curl it in. It was promising here for Bentley. Ball's on the deck, but instead it was Jack Gibson just managing to keep it straight in his hands. And Avondale are going to roll quickly once again here. This has been kind of their go-to play, clearing it out to Maxi Green, and the ball will go over the byline.
Yeah, look, I think that was a really, really well-weighted delivery towards the back post. Gibson has looked good in spurts, but just hasn't received any defensive cover in those moments, and that's what they want to prevent, the Avengers. But nonetheless, ball finds its way towards Luke Oresti.
Been really impressed with his performance here, Luke Oresti. He's been a man on a mission. I'm calling the signature back flick Luke Oresti's, because he's putting up a performance here tonight.
Exactly. Well, here is Matthew Reid, age-old custodian of the Avengers. 2 injury-riddled seasons in 2023 and 2024, but still stands tall as one of the very few that has remained at this club the better part of 5 seasons or so, arriving from Moreland City all those years ago. Here's Trycheski. Looping ball towards Carpenter. Flicked on header. Ball sits nicely for Kajiyama. Now Lelos in the back third. Kajiyama. Won by Seita Murai. Him and Trycheski, very similar players in their quick movements. And their technical acumen has been on full flight tonight, but hasn't befitted them by way of goals. It's a nice feed to find Murai, an even greater feed to find Trycheski. And just lost his footing there. Able to win it back just in time. And has won his side. A corner. better play from the Avengers. And that's what they need to do. Find the pockets in the central channels, and Say Tomorrow did very well to distribute it out to Trajewski. Better.
One of the reasons why they might be struggling is because just how defensively sound Bentley is. I mean, Trajewski had to wait because there was no real option inside. I mean, the moment he looked up, he had 3 defensive plays in the back third from Bentley directly in front of him. So, yeah, I mean, Bentley is making life hell for the Avengers right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why they're in a commanding lead.
No changes for the Greens just yet. Very satisfied with a 2-0 lead against the reigning premiers. I mean, why wouldn't you be? Reigning premiers in title, reigning premiers in players, I'm not quite sure. In terms of the litany that have departed the club in the most recent off-season. Ott, Reed.
While we're here,
Trajewski, among others.
To Manny Agwick, obviously signing for Pop Pro.
Here's Trajewski, lifted over the top. Able to find a player. Flopman with a neat piece of skill, but Kalalu Kamara was there in time and has unfortunately conceded a throw for his effort on that near side. Max Green is going to resort to a throw-in, and it's a long one.
Maxi Mikla?
Max in title, throw-in is the game. Relos able to win it back following Kamara's header. Going to feed a ball towards Petratos. The loose ball initially towards Lynn. And Boldea did well to beat past his marker, and Emmeline Wellsmore, who the Kiwi did really well there, Oresti. And it will be a foul for the Avengers to win. Trajewski. Fornaroli. That's a neat pass to find Blake Carpenter. He can hit them from range. He does so, and wasn't successful in that instance there. Space for the Greens to attack. This time, it's the Bentley born and bred youngster, Dimitri Relos, isolated with Patrick Flopman. Looking to roll it square. Wasn't able to do so. Trajewski wins it deep for the Avengers. Carpenter overlapping, and he's got plenty of space, does Blake Carpenter, as he looks to enter the box on that left-hand side. Towards the byline, across the face. Well held by Brendan White. That's great goalkeeping.
That is really, really good goalkeeping there from Brendan White. Just lunging out, managing to just protect that football. It's a good promising run from the overlap by Blake Carpenter. But Bentley is just going to try and hold things down a little bit here, but promising so far nevertheless though. Ball's up in the air now. Nicolaides, who's fighting with Zimmerino. Zimmerino has been a little bit quiet in this second half. One player that hasn't really ignited. He was a little bit more lively in that last game against South Melbourne Hellas. Tonight, he's been held well in his tracks. So we'll see if he can really try and pick up his paces. Balls with Trajewski. He had to quickly try and let it go as he had Anthony Lynn charging directly behind him. Ball, another sloppy cross in. Ball was low after attempt to cross in by Emmeline Wellsmore. Instead, the ball rolled right along the deck. It will be Avondale's throw-in once again. And it will be that man, Max Green, going from a opposing Maxi Mikla, now with another long throw. Ball straight inside the box. Intended man was George Ott. Instead, couldn't quite get under it quite early enough. And the ball's all the way out now with Trajewski, superstar Avondale Avenger player. Here's Flopman. Avondale just going to try and clear things up here. Beautiful ball inside. It was for George Ott, but instead, again, another tough finish, but a really, really good challenge there by Kalalu Kamara, who's really putting that attacking third of Avondale really under notice. But how about that ball in from Christian Trajewski? Managing to cross that in. That was straight on the dime. But instead, couldn't really make anything of it, was George Ott.
Another attacking opportunity for Avondale this time. They need a goal. We're approaching the 68th minute now in this contest. Matthew Reid out towards Jack Gibson. Here's Flopman. Just the 2 appearances in the Australian Championship for Apia Leichhardt. After a long injury layoff, arrived just at the back end of the New South Wales NPL season. And we'll see a change here for Avondale, it seems.
And it's Stefan Valentini.
Chicks. Hey, it's a good thing. Well, what is there to say about Valentini? Second stint at the Avengers this time, his second season. In his second stint, if you were to really write a book on Avondale, you could write an entire chapter on Stefan Valentini and the glorious moments he's provided for the Avengers. A stunning goal against Heidelberg United last campaign as well. Luke Oresti's going to make way for Ismail Haji. Of course, the arrival, a very neat one, was, of course, from the Altona Magic. And a very neat one as well. Dimitri Relos is going to make way as well. Oh, that's an interesting one. He's been double substituted. Patrick Hogan's going to come on for him.
I know, and along too we have Ayuk Mao as well on the pitch as well. So a couple substitutions for Bentley.
Oh, wow.
Some fresh legs to, I assume, trying to keep the stronghold of this lead that they got, but obviously a big substitution coming in for Stefan Valentini.
Here, the loose ball for Seita Murai. Oh, it hits the post. Oh, wow. That had such venom and pace on it. And Brendan White knew nothing about it. What an important chance for the Avengers. And they came off a loose ball. I don't think Ayuk Mo has made his way onto the park, Stefan, but...
Maybe it was the wrong... Never mind.
No, Paddy Hogan has made his way onto the park.
Correction, yes.
For Bentley Greens, of course. He's, of course, a former Avenger after his stint at Melbourne City.
Coincidentally, they both have the exact same number 17. So that's my correction, folks. Got my numbers and teams mixed up.
I usually don't want to correct commentators, but
I'll put my hand up and say I was wrong on that one.
Perhaps so. Here is Bruno Fornaroli. Got space on his left-hand side. What can the Uruguayan do? To shift away past Kamara. And, did Kalalu Kamara did so well there. Petratos. Looking to lift it in. Can't do so. This is the... in my account, probably the second Socceroo that's played at Kingston Heath. I mean, Brett McGrath was a constant for the for the Bentley Greens back in the day. Bruno Fornaroli with a fair few Socceroos caps. He's naturalised, of course, a few years ago and was utilised against Japan in 2022. And now he's playing in the Senol NPLM Men's Victoria. Best league in the world. Murai. Nice quick feet from George Ott. Oh, at the back of a Bentley Greens player, but Avondale are going to reload and recharge through Patrick Flotman. Here is Christian Trajewski. Laterally for Reed. It's got Bruno centrally. I think he's being played as a number 10 now, which is honestly not a terrible position for him. Sort of a Wayne Rooney role in his latter years at Manchester United. He can get up forward where he needs to and find the space. Here is Fornaroli again. Breaking the line so well. That's a really nice move from George Ott. And now Fornaroli back to goal. Oh, that's delightful. Here's George Ott. He's got space to shoot and has won his side a corner. Or has he? It's a goal kick.
It's a goal kick. Paul is a little bit too offside on that one. So instead, a goal kick coming here for Brendan White for the Bentley Green. So again, a couple opportunities there for Avondale, just not quite managing to fall. It's kind of been the story of Avondale's night here thus far. Got about 19 or so minutes to play here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. Quite the impressive evening for Bentley Greens. If you are a Bentley Greens fan, this is a performance of a lifetime. Here's Murai now on this near side, just managing to keep it alive over along the touchline. Valentini's getting involved, and Kageyama going to work it all the way back off to Brendan White. And we do have a player down here for the Bentley Greens. It is Mario Baldea. So
yes,
Bentley Greens is free kick here.
I must say, Haji's a really nice addition, and it's a really good player to retain. Of course, a Somalian international, 4 caps. Most recently in 2024. Of course, he's not the only Somali international that's featured in the Senol NPLM Men's Victoria. Yul Ahmed as well.
Yeah, quite the game last week, so we'll see if he can try and make another really good impression here today as Petratos once again. Boy, he's getting comfortable, really letting loose on that goal here this evening. Maki Petratos, boy oh boy, he's going to be one to watch out for. He's just loading up like a cannon and absolutely unleashing. He's been pinpoint today. He's looking for a third. We'll see if he can try and get the hat-trick. I know he'd love to get a hat-trick, so really add to the collection of impressive goals that he's had, and that would have been one to one up all the other goals that he's had. A corner on that far side. It is Yagiyama to take this one. Corner comes in, front post. It was tried to be flicked back by Anthony Lynn. Ball's cleared out now in the direction of Fornaroli and Mario Boldea, and he's just going to send it all the way over onto the hill. So just Bentley really in control of this one. Avondale, they're the ones that have a lot more to lose here than Avondale do. And once again, a little bit of a slippage. Anthony Lynn, who's inside the box, tried to let one go. Ball manages to be switched, though. Thought about trying to take a shot on goal. Instead, was on a really, really acute angle, so couldn't quite manage to create anything from that position. As Valentini managed to fight with it, and Yagiyama is down, just holding on to his left knee, so hopefully he's all right. As we have a halt in play, we may as well go through some of the scores that we've had this evening. Obviously, quite the impressive scoreline that we had between Melbourne City and Dandenong City. A very, very impressive win for the Academy outfit. As Bruno Fornaroli, as Blake Carpenter's set piece doesn't go anywhere. Obviously, the win. 2-0 victory for Caroline Springs. George Cross against Bryn Gully in that Maltese derby. 4-2, as I just mentioned, in favour of Melbourne City and Dandenong City. Melbourne City, a tremendous performance indeed. A 3-1 lead for the Oakley Cannons against Altona at Jack Edwards Reserve. They're at the 90th minute there. And then obviously a 3-0 lead in favour of Preston. And straight back to the action, Murai trying to retain possession here. He only just about held it before he had a number of Bentley Greens players bombard him. Here's Trajewski from distance. Couldn't quite balance and contain himself well enough. And Nikolaidis managing to hold on to it here. And could this be one more chance here? That might go begging here for Avondale. Carpenter managing to win it. Directly in the centre circle. What can he provide here? Going to go with his left foot all the way towards Dion Nikolaidis again. And the ball going over the byline. Straight for an Avondale corner. Trajewski not waiting around anymore. Avondale, sense of urgency is picked up here. Max Green, ball's chipped up, flies over. Here's George Ott, who's been rising, and he's been really, really itchy for his first goal here this season. I don't think he might be coming if he's taking opportunities like that. He's had a couple close ones, but not quite on that occasion. So another close one indeed, but still to be denied.
Yeah, he just really hasn't made the most of his chances. He's had 2 or 3 tonight, and you have to make surety of scoring at least one of them, and he's the real only out-and-out number 9 that I have aside from Bruno Fornaroli. So I think you want your strikers to score goals, and look, George Ott really hasn't delivered tonight, and it'll be a pressing point for the Avengers to address in the coming weeks. As the home side have won themselves. The home side have won themselves a throw-in. Hillier was given back the ball and said, I'm going to head that back to the fans. Why not?
The ball actually flew straight to Scott Hillier's father, who had a bit of a chat with us at half-time. Shout out to him as well.
That's a very,
I'm not the only, yes. I'm not the actual Hillier that's actually playing on the pitch.
It's a very good nugget there. Here's Maki Petratos looking to strike one from range again. No! Just whisking wide of the goal. He's an excitement machine, this man. Maki Petratos looking for his third. He's had a few sights on goal tonight since his outrageous goal to secure his double. And it might well be 3-0 to the...
He really wants that hat-trick here, Neil. He really, really wants it. You can tell. And this place will erupt if he does. Beer will go flying on to the Kingston Heath pitch. That's one thing that the maintenance blokes don't want.
Absolutely. So here's Carpenter next to the touchline here. It feeds it into Fornaroli. It's got Valentini overlapping, but Bruno decides to use the avenue of Valentini, and he's won his side a throw-in. Are they going to go long again? I think they will, and we'll see a change as well for the Avengers. Ayuk
This
Mao
time,
coming on. That is right.
This time it is Ayuk Mao. So
Ayuk Mao is going to come on.
If Jonathan Guéron heard me, so Ayuk Mao, this time he comes on.
Of course, spent time at Sydney FC's academy. Only 2 goals in the NPL New South Wales competition for the Central Coast United. The tussle. The penalty area does so deflected. Try check the perimeter. Penalty area. Trycheski still tracking back here. And hasn't quite won the ball in that instance. Oh, that's a distinct lunge. And Max Green is very dissatisfied that there was even a foul card.
That's Max Green yelling as well. The referee made his
Mario Baldea on the deck. Well, as he looking by every passing moment. It's been made, I understand.
Yeah. Cuba, we have
moment. The event. I mean,
they're solid for goal. One of the had a very close one. It's just 19-0 where they just haven't really managed to find the back of the net when it's meant most, and it's been Bentley who's capitalised. And I mean, on the way that we've seen this game is it's been Bentley through and through. And
absolutely. Yeah.
The way that the game's unfolding is the 3 points will be going their way unless Avondale can really produce a little bit of magic, which it might be. And yet again, another chance goes begging. But this man, though, what a sensational, scintillating performance here this evening.
Here's Trycheski, just on halfway. He's really been the conductor in the midfield for the Avengers. Ayuk Mo. Space to attack and does so, bypasses Baldea. It's Mo again. Oh, well, that is an effort on goal. That is so tame and almost went out for a throw-in.
A little bit of an ambitious choice there by Ayuk Mao, obviously trying to make somewhat of an impact. I'm sure that was the instructions by Jonathan Germano, but clearly probably not the greatest. To go back to the drawing board on that one, but this game very scrappy for Avondale. Definitely not how they wanted to approach this one after the worries of last week, and looks to be a carbon copy this week. But Bentley, though, I mean, it's been quite some performance. That first half really did the trick. Carpenter managed to get a header on it. Ball's going to the direction of along two with Max Green. It's one-on-one with Dion Nikolaidis, who's also been quite the beneficiary of that back third, playing that left fullback position. And it is Nikolaidis managing to win that football in the contest. Yagiyama now, who's also been on fire here tonight. What can he produce? Thought about cutting the ball centrally, instead decides to go out wide. We do have a player down, I believe.
2 players.
That is 2 players. Nikolaidis, and I believe that might be, it is Bruno Fornaroli who's down.
Well, you don't want to see that if you're an Avondale fan, but he seems to be okay. Nikolaidis doesn't seem to be quite okay, which is not great. And it seems as if Katsakis is going to empty out the bench. Dennis Menelau is going to come on, formerly of the Bulleen Lions in Northcote City. arriving across from Bulleen, in which they were sort of inconsistent last year, to say the very least. But his brother is Alex at South Melbourne FC. He's in 2020. One campaign.
To the Bentleigh family, if you are watching this.
Did start like was the goal. Anthony Frame is going to come on too. Which is from it's Anthony Lynn. Can he keep it to Petratos? Just in that little corner region, and he's won his side of corner. That's really good work from the two new signings. Minsky to bring the ball back to the corner flag. One of the best photographers in the business in that near corner is Dion Nicolaides to take the resulting corner for the Greens. It'd be very sweet and would put the icing on the cake. Here's Nicolaides. It's high looping still, and I think Gibson's going to punch it away. Does so. All right. Here's Trycheski. This has to be an opportunity for the Avengers. It's slightly overhit, but kept in play by Green. 4 near touchline. Max Green. Burn. So, his bypass. Defenders hooked into the base. Shot for Valley. Right, sitting.
Not really their night tonight so far. They're just being outclassed. As we've used something, Neil. It's not really. Bentley have a shout out. This is pretty bad. Their first game, very long time. The last time they were here, they had a 3-1 victory over Northcote City. That was to really finalise the premiers of VPL 1. And boy, they're showing why they rightfully deserve to be in the Shore Victorian competition. They are just on another level this evening. And we are going to have another corner kick coming up here for Bentley, this time on the near side. Directly in the same position where they had it. Dion Nicolaides to take it once again. Just about 4 minutes to go here until the completion of regular time. Stoppage time as well could be in effect as well, with a couple of players that have gone down in this half. A third goal could be looming. Nicolaides towards the back post. Kamara's charging. Denied on that occasion. And Avondale once again managed to survive, but allowing Bentley to try and really control this game. Murai now centrally, but slightly to the left. Threads it out to Mao. Mao one-on-one with Patrick Hogan. Can't quite buy and win that possession. And once again, another opportunity goes begging for Avondale. So not really their night. And can they try and really regroup next week? They take on Green Gully. A game that they'll want to try and go into a game kind of clear-minded. Bentley, they take on Hume City at Nassau Stadium. Those two games, how do you see both those two games going, Neil? Because two very different games, two very different teams as well. What are your thoughts and predictions for those?
I mean, Hume City with a huge win over South Melbourne yesterday. I mean, it can't
very
be
unexpected.
Oh, no, I think South Melbourne are going to lose games this year. I think that's the nature of the rotation that you'll have in the OFC Pro League. Of course, they take on Auckland tomorrow. But look, as for Avondale, I mean, currently in that sort of low portion of the table. I know we shouldn't really be talking about the table in round 3. I understand that. Preston are about to sort of go back to 0 as a result of tonight's victory. Well, if they can hold on, of course. What is Carpenter's going to flick a ball in towards a back post? White, it's so well cover his box and catch it with much height. But yes, we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be an interesting fixture for Hume next week. I think the way that they composed themselves yesterday was professional, but then again, it was a very, very young South Melbourne team, and they really need to take the game by the scruff of the neck in more ways than one. Tried Green on this near touch line. Into feet was Carpenter. Flotman, Bruno Fornaroli in the centre circle. Looking for attacking options and decides to utilise Matthew Reid. Ball back to Reid. It's Mo. Now space on that right-hand flank for Valentini. Is it a corner one? It is not. It is most definitely not. And the double change for the Bentley Greens. We'll see off-coming the man with the brace, Maki Petratos. Oncoming Dennis Medalau. And Anthony Frangi is also going to come on as well. We'll see who his replacement is. But what a performance from Maki Petratos. Undoubtedly the man of the match. And off-coming as well will be Anthony Lynn.
A couple substitutions here in this one. Anthony Lynn, that's his day done and dusted. Anthony Frangi will be coming on. One Anthony for the other. Substitution as well.
You always have to have
Avondale.
one. Have to have one Anthony.
Times you have to have one.
That's exactly right.
And then Brandon Lundy has also come on to the pitch as well. He will be replacing. Remember exactly who the player was, and it is Max Green. So Max Green, hopefully Max Green's all right. But
yeah,
substitution on, so now he's been subbed off. So
well, Patrick Flotman now decided he's a striker. Shawnee Germano has said, well, we need to lump the ball forward somehow, and if we've got these in the air there, why not use them? 5 minutes of of course, Frangi arriving across from the Altona Magic. 7 goals last season. NPL men, formerly of course, a club that's very fond to me, the City, in the NPL New South Wales, alongside the likes in recent seasons, Hills United, and I think they've actually had a name change since that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Too familiar with the New South Wales NPL, but I mean another fantastic league as well.
Yeah, this is just pent-up frustration.
Yeah, very.
You're losing a battle. It's just easy just to fight with the other team. Why not have a bit of fan bags here and there?
It always is. And, you know, I feel for Avondale with the frustration that they have, obviously not their night. Clearly, Jonathan Germano clearly had a different approach coming in. The entire team did. And game plan hasn't worked out, but I wouldn't say the game plan hasn't worked out. I'd say they've been outclassed. And I've used it before, and I've used it all night, and I'm going to use it again. They've been outclassed by Bentley. Bentley, without, obviously, you know, not giving, still got to give Avondale some credit. But I mean, solid night. So if you're in the Bentley Greens outfit, this is definitely a night to remember. That drought of 2,350 days could very much be ending. And it is almost a guarantee at this point, unless Avondale, again, can produce a bit of magic. We can try and keep a little bit of optimism in the camp for the Avengers. But then again, it is looking extremely unlikely. And an offside call by Dennis Medalau. So straight back for Avondale.
When you rip out the heart and soul
of
the spine that brought you championship success.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be struggles.
There's going to be a lot of struggles. And the only players that I believe have actually remained at the club since that championship winning team that took on South Melbourne in 2023. Ute Towns and Christian Trajewski. I believe they're the only players that are left that actually started that game. And obviously Dylan Jakupi. It's a sad predicament, but it's a predicament that they're in at the moment. And I think it's going to take a long time before they adjust to new coaching systems and the way that Shawnee Germano likes to play. I mean, look, the amount of turnover is unbelievable. Yeah. And I do believe that Germano can bring results. it's just not clicking at the moment.
It's going to take time. Chemistry's going to build, and it will take time. And obviously, what they are building, you can see what they are building. Obviously, there's been spurts of really good moments this evening for Avondale, but it just hasn't clicked in the way that it has clicked for Bentley. Obviously, I mean, one signing that we probably haven't talked about for Bentley is Mohamed Adara making the switch to Bentley from Heidelberg.
Yeah, we have
another big signing that, again, he hasn't started in the first 2 games, wasn't in the lineup last week, isn't in the lineup again today. So another really big player that when he does end up coming on the pitch, he's going to make another big impact as well. So if you are Bentley, if you are George Katsakis, I mean, there's so much to like about this squad. The way that they're playing, a lot of the players are young, and I mean, they're playing with flair out there. They're
definitely.
With nothing to lose, and they do have nothing to lose. Obviously, again, I don't like to say it, but they are kind of the new kid on the block in a way.
Yes.
Because they're back in the Senol NPLM Victorian season. They haven't been in the season for quite some time, so they really have nothing to lose. For Avondale, they're the reigning premiers. You know, they were the favourites to probably get into the finals. Didn't do that. Dandy City knocked them off. So they kind of feel like they have a point to prove, especially, you know, with the depth that they had last year. Obviously, as you mentioned, a multiple number of core players are missing, as we might have an opportunity here for Avondale, possibly one last roll of the dice. George Holt, once again, the target. Hasn't had quite the game here tonight. Tchaikovsky, this man has, though. But
and I don't want to... I think it was on Nick's. I just think getting used to that adjustment.
Haven't stayed the Markovsky era. An adjustment as well for them to style that Hermano wants them to play as well, because can't go from Zoramar stop being aggressive to Hermano being a little bit more for stuff like that. Yeah. We'll see what time will only tell. Fornaroli, this could be a try and put a goal back on the score into the wall. Probably not that he'll want to remember anytime soon for him. But he tries to go down the line to Menelau. And that will be full time here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. Bentley Greens get a win back in the Senol NPL Victorian season. The drought of 2,350 days. Bentley back on the winning back in Senol NPL Victoria. Welcome back, Bentley Greens.
What a professional performance from George Katsakis. We're going to waver. That is one of the best performances I've seen. Opposition in which on paper is, I think.
I just want to pay your attention as well. Say Tamurai, Blake Carpenter, both down on the ground, so clearly frustration, disappointment, whatever. I don't know what kind of thoughts are going through their head.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I think everyone's going to talk about Avondale's performance tonight and how they work and whatnot. But look, 2 games against solid opposition. Look, it's a good litmus test, but we'll see as to what the response will be from the Avengers. As for the Bentley Greens, wow, what a performance tonight. They were... Look, in the first 2 games, you'll absolutely take that. If you're... I think that's... Bentley Greens are back in the Senol NPLM Men's Victoria. What a night tonight. I've been Neil Simons, he's been Stefan Georgic. It's been a pleasure to call with you, Stefan, the first time.
Like always.
And not the last time, hopefully.
Definitely not, brother.
All good. Thank you so much for paying attention tonight. Tomorrow, the final fixture of the Senol NPL Men's Victoria. It is the Dandenong Thunder up against Heidelberg United at JVS Stadium, George Andrews Reserve. We'll see you very soon. Thank you and good night.